Hello, next video. Today we're going to take a look at the Shadow Sableye in the Great League meta, and today we're going to have a very interesting team here actually, with the what's called the Surfetch as well on here. Surfetch is a Pokemon that's super underrated right now in the Great League meta. Like, people in higher elos play this Pokemon actually way more often than you would think, but like people in lower elos don't really know a lot about this because it's not really the typical Pokemon that you would see, to be honest. Like, there are better fighters usually which you would run. But Surfetch has access to Night Slash, which is really cool for all the ghost types that are available, and has like so many really good matchups in the two-shield scenarios, which like is really cool to get back switch advantage. This thing is one of the best save swaps actually in the Great League meta, which you don't really expect too much, but yeah. This is not really the topic of the video though. Our topic is of course the Shadow Sableye here. Shadow Sableye, compared to the normal Sableye, I actually kind of wanted to try something different here. Usually Sableye, you see all of them either as the lead or as a save swap. There's not a lot, like I don't think I've seen a single Sableye ever really as a closer. So I want to try the thing out as a closer now, as we have more damage from the Shadow Claw and more damage from the Charge moves. And we have also Power Gem, of course, instead of the Return, as Return is not available as a Shadow Pokemon, of course. So like you have like this kind of problem there. Power Gem itself is cool for coverage. I think Rock type move coverage is really good. The move itself is just not really good. It's also not horrible, but it's definitely not good. Like, it's not any top tier move that you would run on a normal Pokemon. If you could like have something better, this move is, I think, like, I don't know, like kind of like 60 energy and 80 damage or whatever. It's actually pretty bad, but it is still okay-ish. Like, it still does damage. It's not like completely horrible like other charge moves that you have sometimes in the game. But yeah, we want to take a look at this Pokemon right now. We can go for a foul play against this NiRiain KOing this thing. You still, of course, wall those Pokemon that you walled prior, which makes Sableye like such a good Pokemon, but you also do way more damage now. Usually you want to get for the best IV spread there. My IV spread is like pretty low-ish, of course, with like 3 attack, 15-15, which is kind of nice. But I saw on Twitter like some discussion when I posted my Sableye that I powered up, that actually a 15-15-15 seems to be better because they have more breakpoints with the Shadow Claw, which, I mean, hell, does happen. Like, it doesn't really matter too much at the IV spread, I think, on this thing, as long as it's either pretty high attack weighted or like in general like pretty decent IVs like this. I rather take my IV spread than the 15-15-15, to be honest. Yeah. Of course, you need a lot of XL candy. If you don't know how to get XL candy for Sableye, the Sableye has been in rewards for Go Bad League for ages. And Sableye also has been, I think, a season spawn like 1 or 2 seasons ago. And also, we had a spotlight hour for this Pokemon where I got my main XL candy for the Shadow version, the normal version already prior. From all the other Sableyes I caught prior, but for the Shadow version, like there was, for example, like there was a spotlight hour, I think, like half a year ago, a little bit more than half a year ago. So you're most likely gonna be able to get those XL candy again as soon as the Halloween event hits. Usually that's the event where you can get some XL candy for this Pokemon, but before it's gonna be a little bit tricky. Here we see an Escape against us. Of course we have to shield against those Drill Runs. Drill Run gonna hurt you a lot. The 20% more damage taken is a little bit awkward there, of course. Also, like in this matchup, you see I have to shield everything, but he also does more damage, but I don't really gain anything. Like, I would already KO him with the normal version anyway. At this point of time, I would just like take less damage. And this is in general a problem with this Pokemon. I don't think it's better than the Purified version. Purified version is A, cheaper, and B, better. The thing is here, usually when you have a Shadow Pokemon, you have like some matchups that just flip around because like you do like more damage with your fast move, especially with like Shadow Claw as a fast move. That's actually a really decent fast move for a Pokemon like in general a Shadow Pokemon, as you can do like so much more pressure with this. But with Sableye, it kind of feels like there's not really a matchup that you win now. Like, there's not a matchup where you say, okay, I clearly have a better shot there, maybe even Registeel, but even then, like, you have to shield the move. Like, usually you would be able to take one move from Registeel. I think now you're not really actually able to do this either. So it's a little bit tricky. And also, like, that you don't have return sometimes hurts you a lot, because Power Gem, especially here as you see in this matchup against Azumarill, will not do as much damage as you would do with one return here. Power Gem is not really the strongest move, but you still do some damage at least. Like, it's not the worst move either, as we're gonna try to catch the move here, I think, at this point of time. Yeah, perfect catch on the Registeel. And my opponent is energyless. I have 2 moves on my other Pokemon, and we see the Talonflame coming in. This game is over. Good game to my opponent, 1 Zap Cannon, and boom. So, yeah. In general, I don't think it's really an upgrade. I don't think it's way better. It has some different kind of potential. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's still a decent Pokemon. I used it now for 4 sets. It's definitely still a cool Pokemon. But here's, by the way, the only matchup where I think it's a difference having the Shadow version in a positive way. Because I think you can easily farm this thing down like in a 2-shield. Like, I think you can also still farm down with the normal version. It just feels a little bit safer here. Maybe it's actually not even an upgrade. Maybe the normal version is even better here as well because you take less damage. I'm not sure. But at least you can punish Pokemon more easier here, as you're going to be able to go just straight for the move here. Go for the Power Gem. I should have went for the foul play in hindsight because I can get to 2. But they actually let it go and I can try to farm down with my Surf Edge. Gonna be a little bit dicey here with the Medicham in the back. But we're gonna try to get to some moves. I should have went for the Leaf Blade, I guess. I don't think it really matters too much either. They go for the move there. I'm gonna go into my Sableye, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go for 1 foul play. They can farm me down. But I might be fine with my Registeel. It really depends on which moveset they have here. I guess I would have been able to do maybe more damage somehow. Yeah, it's kind of awkward. Because now it's not really in lock-on range. I have to throw my charge move, which kind of puts me into a range where Earthquake, of course, KOs me, and it's gonna be a little bit awkward. I try to farm up as much energy as I can, but this will not really work out too much. Yeah, we see my opponent getting to a move here. This should be an Earthquake, and this should be a good game. Yep, good game to my opponent. Not for me this time around. But yeah, I think Sableye as a Shadow version has maybe some more play as a closer, and also some more play as a lead as well, because like you just pressure your opponent a little bit better. But in generally speaking, I think if you can only get 1 Sableye, get the Purified version. The Purified version is just better, as well as a Safe Swap, but also I think also in the lead a little bit better, to be honest. It's just safer. There's not a lot of matchups where you think, oh, okay, now the Shadow version gonna help me a lot out of here. It's just like always kinda unnecessary to have the Shadow version, to be honest. You just always take a little bit more damage, but like the damage that you deal doesn't really help too much. Maybe in this matchup, but I actually think I would even farm down in time with the normal version. Like I would still have 2 moves basically for free until he gets to the next Poison Jab. So yeah, here I don't do enough damage for this thing either, which means he can go for Power Whip, KO me here, and we see the Azumarill coming in, which is fine for me, as we have our Surf Edge in him back. Yeah, for Surf Edge though, Surf Edge is definitely a Pokemon you should try to take a look at for the Great League. Definitely an underrated Pokemon that is really cool to play, especially as a Safe Swap here, especially in the current meta as well. Definitely a cool Pokemon, but Sableye, not really worth the investment. It's still like, it's not a bad Pokemon, but it's just not worth the amount of Stardust you have to spend and the amount of XL Candy that you have to spend. Well, it's still a decent Pokemon, like it's still a good Pokemon. It's just like, if you compare to the normal Sableye, which is most likely the best Pokemon in the Great League, and compared now to the Shadow version, it's just like kind of night and day that the normal version is just better than the Shadow version here. Which is kind of sad, but still, I'm happy with the investment. I still kind of want to try this out in some different teams maybe down the line, but at least now I have 1 more Pokemon that I really wanted to build down, and this thing costed me 600k Stardust for 1 Pokemon, so definitely not worth it though. As we see the Earthquake coming through here, actually, I have a lot of times where I just play wrong with my Registeel and also with my Surf Edge. I usually don't really swap out all of my Registeel matchup just because I'm not sure with the matchups with Surf Edge. I think Surf Edge would be even way better if you know how to play with it, and I don't know how to play with it, so like it wasn't even at the prime peak here for me when I played it. But yeah, we can go for 1 Night Slash here. Surf Edge also has access to the Brave Bird, which can be a cool option. But I think the Night Slash in the current meta is just a little bit safer and gives you the option to boost, which can really decide some matches. Which also I think happens sometimes, but I'm not sure if it's in there because of course I cannot put in 4 entire sets into 1 video. As we see the Warring coming in. Here's by the way 1 problem again. I would easily already won this matchup at this point of time if I had the normal version, because I easily survived 1 Icicle Spear, and I can just go for my normal foul plays and I'm fine. Look at this matchup here. I can go for 1 foul play, get the shield. They're gonna be able to go for their Icicle Spear now. I get to 1 HP and NiRiain, I still survive, but I can KO this thing, but I could also just KO this thing with my normal version, I'm very sure, from this range. And I only get a draw now because I have the shadow version. Like, normal version is just better. Like, normal version has like so many matchups where you think, okay, like I don't really need the shadow version. Speaking of the shadow version, cool that my opponent also tried this Pokemon out. I actually should try it as a sales swap as well someday. Maybe as well in the double ghost team again would be cool. Is my opponent actually gonna let the move go through and I can just farm all the way down, which I'm fine with. At this point of time I expect my opponent to have the Shadow Marek in the back, which I kind of then threw the game here by going to my Sableye, because this is my best answer, and this was not the smartest idea, as we should have went into our Surf Edge, which also I think would have been able to farm down in time, but yeah, it's fine, as we're gonna be able to get at least one shield. We have to shield here. I expect them to have the Marek in the back. We have to see. I go for the foul play. Let's see what they have in the back. We go for the foul play. We can swap out into a Surf Edge. We can farm down. And we see the Marek, of course, in the back. We can go for one Night Slash here, trying to get him low. And this is gonna come down to the wire still. We're gonna see that I'm not gonna be able to get to another move, which is really annoying because now I don't really do anything with my Sableye either here. As we're gonna try to go for the farm down, get him very low, and I can maybe lock on him down. Is this a play here? Let's see, a Shadow Bone comes through, we barely survive, and we can actually lock on down the Shadow Marek there. Good game to my opponent. As we see a War running against us in the lead, we see a Swampert coming in here again. I should have swapped out immediately. Like, why didn't I swap out? Like, both of my Pokemon in the back are fighting against Swampert. Why didn't I swap out? But I just gonna go straight for the Focus Blast. I should get a shield here. No, actually, they're gonna let it go. I can farm down with my Surf Edge. That should be fine. I should have went into my Sableye. I think it's safer here, to be honest. As we see Nidoqueen coming in as well. Not the best for my Surf Edge, but Surf Edge is still a nice duck. Going for the Leaf Blade. Trying to... Actually, I should have maybe shielded this, to be honest. Not sure. Not sure if I should have shielded. But I can just farm down with my Sableye. I know that this is only the Poison Fang, and I can get some extra energy against this wall rank, going straight for the foul play. I'm gonna try to catch a move or catch some energy on my Registeel now, which didn't work out too well, but they have to go for an Earthquake now, and I should have most likely shielded this move as well. They go for the Earthquake, and I make a big mistake with this, because I still expect it to be a normal Sableye. I'm still in my head, this is a normal Sableye that doesn't take too much damage. And I threw the game by no shielding there. If I just shielded, I would have got the final shield of my opponent. I would have been fine. But because I thought I was way bulkier than I actually was, I really struggled there. And this is not really the best thing there. So like you see, while like I still win a lot of games here, it's mainly because I think the other two Pokemon of this team, Sableye is just it's just not bad, but it's also just not good, to be honest. It's just really not good. We're gonna be able to go for one Night Slash there. We're gonna get the shield from my opponent. They're gonna go for one Psycho Boost. They're gonna swap out most likely. They do into their Venusaur. I'm gonna try to align on his charge move here, because it's gonna give me a way better spot there. And they actually go throw here, which is nice for me. I can now go into my Sableye, into my Registeel. Gonna take all the moves here. I can go for one Zap Cannon, trying to destroy this, but I actually decide to go into my Sableye and swap onto their charge move into my Registeel, which was kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this was actually the right play there, to be honest. They're gonna go ahead and try to KO me here, which is fine for me. I have a lot of energy now onto my Sableye, and we're gonna see my opponent going into their Deoxys defense, and I just try to farm down. This should only be Psycho Boost, so I can survive this and I can KO this. And we see a Stunfisk coming in. Is this a better matchup now, as we can go for two foul plays? This doesn't do half. We have some lag. I don't know if that was like on both sides, to be honest. They go for the Rock Slide. They only need the Rock Slide. I can go for two more foul plays. Is this enough to KO my opponent? Does the Shadow Bonus help me here? Let's find out. The move comes through and it barely doesn't KO, and we lose with 1 HP and NiRiain. Hell yeah. Again, Shadow Bonus doesn't help me here. No bonus wouldn't have, like the Purified version wouldn't have helped me here either, I think, but still. Again, a matchup where I wish that the foul play just does a slightly bit more. I guess this is where, like, for example, the higher attack Sableye would come in clutch, which we don't have here, sadly. So maybe like this IV spell is just the wrong version, which would be a little bit costly, as this was 600k. But I'm still fine with this. I'm still okay with spending this like Stardust on this Pokemon. Trying it out. As we see a Medicham coming in. Is this the version where I boost against this Medicham? I have to see. We're gonna see the Night Slash come through and we're gonna get the boost here. easy peasy. We're gonna shield it up. No, we actually don't shield it up because it's a power punch. Do I still get to a move? This duck is just too good as we can get to another move here. Move comes through, getting him very, very low, and I can go into my Sableye trying to farm all the way down. They can only get to another power punch here, which should be easily dealt with here. I can farm all the way down. We have the Bastion coming in against us, and we can go into our Registeel. They go into their Victory Bell. I'm gonna try to farm all the way down. If I can farm down, this game is over, and I can. So thanks all for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day. Go for the Purified version. This version is not really worth it.